Hey y'all, what's happening? We back with another one. So this guy, we got a pro wrestler, man. We got another one. This guy, he's born in New York, raised in Atlanta, basically. He's like I said, a pro wrestler. He's too fly. He's the one that you all look up to, damn it. And he's
Um,
also all elite. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you the one and only Kevin Knight.
what's going on? What's going on? Appreciate that introduction. Appreciate that. And hey, a nice shirt, by the way. Look good on you. Purple look good on you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So let's just hop into it. So first thing I ask any and everybody that comes onto my podcast, talk to me, about what it was like for you growing up, where you're from, because you never know who may tune into this and may or may not come from similar circumstances or whatever, and may use this motivation. So talk to me about where you're from, and what life was like growing up up
Man,
until you.
yeah, like you said, born in Brooklyn. So all my family's from New York. So just having that northern influence definitely stuck with me all my life. Like just how people interact with each other, and then moving down to the south was like a culture shock at such a young age, and moving at that age and getting into sports right at that age too, getting into football. I was already a bowler. Got into track and field and everything. So sports teach you so much discipline. It teaches you so much camaraderie, how to work with other people. So I grew up playing football. My older brother was really like the superstar, everything growing up. He was MVP every single year. He was prom king, homecoming king, starting quarterback his senior year, won state and all type of stuff in track and field. So he ended up going D1. So with me having to follow his footsteps, I always had to like if I wanted to hang out with him, because we're like 6 years apart. If I wanted to hang out with him, I had to be just as good. You know what I mean? So he was such a good role model to have growing up, because I always tell people the reason why I'm like I am is because of my older brother, because he was so good at everything. I just wanted to spend time around him. So I was like, man, I gotta be fast. I gotta be good at football.
Yeah.
And he and him and my dad and my cousins really put me on to wrestling too. Just because I was the youngest at the time, they would try out all the wrestling moves on me, making sure that they hurt, before they put it on their character and everything. So I was taking
Yeah.
all kind of bumps and all that from a young age. So
Yeah.
yeah, just grew up watching football, playing it. Wrestling was like my first love before I even got to start playing football. And then after college, man, I had an IT job, had a nice little office job with AC and everything, had benefits. I lived in Seattle after that, and it was cool. I lived in Seattle for about 18 months, but I knew quick that this wasn't the life that I wanted. Like within the first week, I think I was like, man, like once I realized summer break wasn't a thing, or like 9 to 5 is not a thing. You got to stay afterwards if there's work to be done. I was like, man, I don't know if this life is for me. So yeah, that's when I started wrestling, and soon I made a tryout with New Japan in about like late 2019, right before the
Right.
pandemic, and man, just been with them ever since. So it's been a journey.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. So as far as being up in New York goes, like you said, it was a lot of a culture shock. So what were some of the things that I guess shocked you like the most coming from New York?
Man, everything is so spread out in the South. Like everything is so spread out. And when I lived in New York, you could walk to get everywhere. We walked to school, we walked to the corner store, we walked to wherever we had to go. So everything was in such close proximity. Even at 6 years old, I was walking places with my older brother. But once we
Yeah.
moved down south, you had to have a car because everything is so spread out.
Yes.
And I remember we drove down from New York to Georgia, and as we kept getting closer to the South, I just started seeing these things: Waffle House, Waffle House, Waffle House. I was like,
Yes,
"What is
sir.
what is a Waffle House?" So I think that was one of the first things that I tried when I moved out here. So I was like, "It got to be popular," because up north there's no sweet tea, there's no Waffle House. I don't believe there was Chick-fil-A at the time or Zaxby's. So all of these new restaurants, I was like, "Yo, we got to try these." So safe to say those things won my heart at a young age. So
All right. All right, for sure. So shit.
and
So
and not to cut you off, the way people talk, I'm still learning the Southern slang, like trying to understand my old teammates how they talk, because man, it's a lot slower. They have that Southern twang to them, you know what I mean? So I'm still learning, to be honest, at this big age.
Okay, all right. And you said so when you moved down from New York, who all was it that moved down?
Oh,
Okay,
it
first
was
let me ask, how many siblings do you have? Like, what was the family dynamic like? Like, how many brothers and sisters do you have, and what was that? When you
yeah.
moved down.
I'm the middle child. I got two brothers, and my
Okay.
little brother was just born. Like he was maybe like a year old before we moved down. It was my mom and dad. I believe my uncle and aunt and cousins moved down like 2 years beforehand, and then eventually my grandparents moved down. So it was just like, why pay for the same for a two-bedroom apartment in New York? We can get a fully grown house in the South. So it just made sense, you know what I mean? Just financial wise, I guess from their perspective. I was a little kid, so I didn't understand. But yeah, it was really the whole family moved back down, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Okay. All right. Cool. So when you got down here, so talk to me about like what little kid life was like. What were some of the things you were into as a kid besides pro wrestling?
Man, I was into so much. I was into so much. Thankfully, I had parents, especially my dad, that just let me try out different things. Like my first sport was bowling because my parents are bowlers, my grandparents are bowlers, my great grandma was a bowler back in the 1940s and all that. So that was a family type of thing. So we bowled every Saturday when it wasn't football season. Outside of sports, I was into all the cartoons like you got SpongeBob, Yu-Gi-Oh. I was heavy into the Pokemon. Like, don't talk to me about Pokemon. I was training them up. I was after I got done training with football, I was training my Pokemon up. You know what I mean? So that was a big part of my childhood. I'm trying to think what else. It was so much. Music was so big. I remember because my dad used to be a DJ, so he used to get his speakers and everything growing up. And once I discovered the game Guitar Hero, my dad like got us a speaker system, so I got into all the rock music, all into alternative everything. This like 9, 10 years old, just exploring different genres, not just hip hop, not just R&B, it was just so many other things. Man, I think middle school I got into the violin. I
Violin.
was so thankful that my parents was able to get me into things like this to try out different things and to meet so many different people as being multifaceted. So yeah, I can still I grabbed the violin in about 10, 15 years, but I can still, do a little something on there.
Okay.
So yeah, we got into everything as a kid. So I was
Okay.
so grateful my parents opened up them opportunities for us.
All right. And you said you're a like a third generation bowler, basically, right?
Fourth.
Fourth. Oh, my bad. My excuse me. Let me put some respect on the family name.
Come
Excuse
on now,
me.
come on.
All right. So what's the height? Have you ever bowled a perfect 300 before, or like what's
Not
the highest?
Not yet, because I stopped bowling when I was 12 years old, like
Okay.
competitively. I haven't
Okay.
had my own custom bowl and everything since I
Oh,
was 12
snap.
years old. But actually, me and JD Drake are talking about getting back in the lane seriously. I don't know if people notice, but JD Drake is a real professional bowler, and
Okay.
he been re-educating me on the game. So we about to get back on the lanes. But the highest I ever bowled was a 276. I remember it to this day. It was one of my last tournaments. So that's about 20, 30 pins off from a perfect game. So I was 12. So soon when I get back in my mode, watch
Yeah.
out. Pete Weber, all the professionals. I'm gonna be on PBA soon. That's another goal.
Okay. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. I like that goal. Big dreams, big goals, aspirations. I love
Of
it.
course, of
But
course.
you spoke about your dad. So could you talk to the people about that situation and how it affected you as a young black man in
Yeah,
America trying to make it and be something after moving down here.
man, my dad was just like me, a multifaceted man. He could do so many different things, and he raised boys up just how they should. He just let us try things out. If we were, I just was watching my old tapes, and me and my little brother just fighting each other, and he was just letting us go at it, like not trying to stop anything. He was just letting kids be kids. And the biggest thing I love about my dad is just like he always wanted us to figure things out. Like anytime I asked my dad, "Hey, what does this mean?" or "Can you help me with this?" Da 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 da. He would always say, "Did you look it up?" He was look it up. Like he will always be an advocate of like figuring things out. So that was such a big thing growing up, just figuring things out. Like he would always be there to help. You know what I
All right.
mean? But he would always be like, "Man, like you're gonna be a man one day." So he would always prepare me for how it would be when I get older. Even he would film all of our football games. He's not the parent that would be overbearing and be like, yo, you got to make that play. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. You know, a lot of parents do be like that, but
Yeah.
he just let us play. But then once we got back to the house, we would turn the film on and be like, you see this? You know, you can do this now when you 8, but when you get 15, 16, you're not going to be able to do that type of stuff. So he will always prepare us for the next level. And I always thank for my dad just for putting that discipline on us at a young age. And yeah, just for us to be where we at.
Okay. That's okay. It's good. Okay. All right. For sure. But so you said once you all right, you graduate high school and then you choose to go to college. So
Yeah.
what led to your decision of wanting to go to college and like what made you want to go to college? What made you want to pursue the your major and everything? Because it said you had a degree in management information systems.
Yeah, man. Like
That's okay. So I see that boy. He book smart, real book smart. That says a
one
lot. So talk to
hundred
me about
percent.
college life and what that was like.
Um, I think a big reason why I wanted to go to college or went to college was because of my older brother. You know, he went D1, he played at Wake Forest, played football. So I was like, if he can do it, I can do it too, type of thing. And I wasn't as good as an athlete as he was coming up through high school. So I ended up going D2 to a smaller school. I always say if I can go back, I will go to a West Coast school or HBCU or something just to get away from home. Because I was
Yeah,
maybe about a 2, 3 hour drive away from home. But college was a great experience because you get to do something on your own. You got to make up your bed. If you miss class, nobody's gonna come to your room and be like, "Hey, you missed class." If you ain't do your homework, nobody's gonna remind you, hey, you got to do your homework to
yeah,
do. You know what I mean? You got to do laundry in a shared space. So if you don't pick up your laundry, your socks gonna be gone. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it just really taught you responsibility, and I'm so glad I got to experience that. It's meeting so many different people again from so many different places. You really get out of your shell. You're forced to. You know, it's not people that you grew up with. So that was the biggest inspiration for me to go to college was just following my brother's footsteps and what I do, management information systems. That was actually my second choice because my first
okay.
2 years, I was an econ major. You know, I was trying to figure out the
Mm,
stock markets and learning opportunity costs and all these big words and everything. But then I actually had a friend and his dad owned an IT company. And he was like, if you just graduate with an IT degree, we can get you a job or whatever. So I was like, for real? You know, so I just put two and two together and switched over to the IT. And that's how I ended up with that job after college, you know. So I just did what made sense. I just did what made
mm.
sense.
All right, for sure. And when you played football, okay, what college did you go to?
I went to a small school in Georgia, Rome, Georgia, called Shorter University. So it was a
Okay.
small private Christian school, a lot of rules, a lot of service every Wednesday. All the athletes knew each other. Everybody knew each other on campus. So it was an interesting time for sure.
Okay. And what positions did you play?
Man, growing up, I played everything. I feel like I could be everywhere on the field. Like I was quarterback, running back. I played free safety, linebacker. But once I got to college in older years, I switched over to defense. So I was
Okay.
safety, cornerback. I returned punts, returned kicks. So just put the ball in my hands. I'm dangerous. I'm
So
dangerous.
sounds like you just a pure athlete. That's what it
Man,
sounds like.
it's like I don't see myself as like that because that's just what I grew up doing. It was just what I just did. I didn't see myself as an athlete or athletic. Like that was just what life was. Like I don't, you in the South, like football is king in the South.
Yes.
Football is our religion, then it's Christianity. So it was just what we did. It wasn't it wasn't anything like I felt special doing it. So
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me about uh you said you worked at an IT company, had a real nice paying job.
yep,
So
yep.
talk to me about like the you said within the first week you knew this isn't
I
for me.
knew.
So like talk to me about like the day where it clicked. Like I'm not doing this anymore and like if you when you was like I'm putting in my 2 week notice and I'm doing this program.
um, I didn't put in my 2 weeks notice until I got confirmation from New Japan that I was going to be full time because I didn't want to quit the job and not be able to pay rent or pay for my training or pay for my gear. So I think my first 8 months of wrestling, 9 months of wrestling, I was still working that job. It was like a Clark Kent Superman type of
Okay.
situation. So I'll pull up to work 8 to 5, leave work, go to the gym. If I had training that day, I would take a 2 hour bus ride up to the Buddy Wayne Academy. Go train with them for a few hours and then come back and work out. Get back to the house at midnight and then boom, do the same thing the next day. So it was like I said, it was a good paying, nice job, but I knew immediately, it wasn't for me. Those type of jobs are, I'm not going to say draining because there is a benefit. Um, it just wasn't for me. I just knew I was built for a bigger purpose.
Yes, sir. I love that. Yes,
For
sir.
sure. For sure.
So, and you said okay, and at the New Japan Dojo, you in Cali, correct?
Yep.
Who,
Los Angeles.
and who was your trainer, and what was your training experience like? What was your first day like? What was the first bumps like?
So I think when I got to the dojo, I was about the first time I got to the dojo was I did a tryout with them in late 2019. They have us do the squats, the push-ups, everything to try to break you. And then we did a little match. And I did one drop kick, and Rocky Romero came up to me afterwards, like, hey, I want to bring you back. We'll get your information. Da 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 da. So I get an email a week later saying, hey, come back to the dojo. We want to get a better look at you. So I came back for like a full week. And then this full week, Katsuri Shibata is the main trainer over there. He don't speak no English. He knows about 5 to 7 words of the
Yeah.
English language, but you gonna feel every 5 of them 7 words that he says. And he tries to break you. Who was in there? Gabe Kidd, Carl Fredericks, Alex Coggan, Clark Connors. They all like help mold me to who I am. Just with the mindset, man. Just with the fundamentals. It's so different. Um,
Okay.
Getting to the New Japan style. Shibata hammers on, he stresses fundamentals, using your voice, having everything be crisp and repetition, repetition, repetition. So everything that we did, we did it 1,000 times before we debuted it on TV. So it was really just perfection. Um, that was the biggest thing. The train to me personally, the training was the easy part. It was the outside of training that was like, man, I gotta get used to this Japanese living style. Even though we were in LA, it was still kind of Japanese house rules and everything. So it was like just learning that culture along with the new style of wrestling that I'm learning. It was another culture shock I went through. So it was dope. It was dope.
Okay. So, how long did it take you to like? How long did you train?
Before my Young Lion debut,
Yes.
I got to the dojo like July of 2020, and the first taping I did was December 2020. So about 5 months within that system. And again, this is during the pandemic. Nothing's open. Um, Shibata wasn't there as much as the first class he was with because it was
Right.
so much hassle getting back and forth. So really, the other young lions trained me up. So it was about 5 months. Learning a stomp for a week straight, learning a headlock for a week straight, learning a hip toss, learning a drop kick. Really breaking everything down to the basics. The Boston crab hold, because that's every young lion's finish. And to be able to hold that, deep into the match and scream is a lot harder than what you think. So a lot of
Yeah.
training went into that. And it really just helped my mindset to be able to, I can do anything.
Yes,
So
sir.
it was like keeps going back to, it's a dope experience.
All right. And if I'm not mistaken, you are also the first black man to graduate from the dojo.
Yes, sir. A
Yes,
jet is a
sir.
jet setter in itself. So me being a jet, me being from New York, from Atlanta to Seattle, and now LA, then Japan. I learned so many different things from so many different parts of the world. That's what makes me me, and that's why I feel like I'm so different because I have my own story. I'm setting my own path, so people that come behind me can follow whichever path that is. Like you can be uh, a black young lion, you can be a black regular in New Japan. You know what I mean? Not just a foreigner coming in for a tour or two, but actually with a New Japan company, if that's your goals.
Right.
So
Okay. So once you become a young lion in your wrestling, did anybody like give you a hard time once you got to New Japan? Was it like
Man, if anybody gave me a hard time, it was just the office. To be honest, it's always behind the stage things. But I'm legit. Once I walk into the room, everybody got to tighten up. You know what I mean? So I never had any problems. Never had any problems.
okay, so talk to me about because in New Japan when you're a young lion, it's the black trunks and everything, correct? Because
Yep,
I know, like you said, it's a different way of doing things. So
different style.
yeah. So at what point did you get to break out and actually like put the Jet character out there?
It was actually it happened kind of fast during halfway through my first tour in Japan. I was a young lion for maybe like 2 years. And my first tour, the Super Junior Tag League of 2022, I just went up to Gator, was like, hey, I don't know if I ever come back to Japan. Contract was coming up. I just wanted to show the company who I really am and what I can offer. So I was like, hey, I brought these sweatpants or this sweatsuit I used to wear on the indies. Is it cool if I, wear them and show a little bit more of who I am, not just the young lion screaming uh Kevin Knight. Like that's not me at all.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, sure. He had no problems with it at all. And I think he really liked it, or a little bit really liked the look. It was different at the time. And I was just ready just to show my personality. I was so tired of being this shell, being a no personality, no swag, no character. Like I was tired of being that. And I just wanted to, fully flesh out who I think I am.
Okay. And while you were in New Japan, you ended up winning the IWGP tag titles with Kushida.
Yep, yep.
Talk to me about what it was like tagging with him, what it was like winning the tag titles, and like how big of an accomplishment that was for you.
Man, it was amazing because we did that twice actually. And I think we won them on my second ever tour over there. So,
Okay.
me only being there my second time, it was crazy that I got to win tag team belts with a legend like Kushida. So it was a crazy moment. Um, and I think that tour was like one of the first tours where they had actual crowd noise. Because beforehand, the pandemic and everything, it was half capacity crowds, clap only crowds. So it was dope to just have a full New Japan experience. And me winning my belts there, it was dope. And Kushida is such a great leader, such a great mentor. He showed me the ropes just of how to go about doing things with Japanese fans, teaching me the culture, the little nuances with Japanese people that a lot of foreigners may not be hip to. So he really just put me ahead of the curveball, and just helped me out, just setting that foundation. So grateful for Kushida always, and yeah, for showing me the ropes. And man, those two title runs is dope. I got to go into my first Wrestle Kingdom as a champion. And man, it was just dope just walking down that long ramp just with the titles around our waist and just with my boys just who's helped me out from day one.
For sure, yes, sir. So, talk to
Mhm.
me about what the country like. What is Japan like? Because everybody who's from America that goes over there. So, like, what are some of the differences you see? Because you said it was a culture shock. Well, another culture
Yeah.
shock for you. So, what's some of the things that's in Japan that you probably want to see or find in America?
The biggest thing I could say is the respect and the cleanliness just of the whole society, man. You can go to the subway, bus stops, and everything is so clean. The bathrooms, the public McDonald's bathrooms, the customer service, everything is so respectful. It's like built into their culture, just to respect anybody that you're talking to. In America, you walk into a place and somebody's on the person at the cash register on their phone got an attitude for why you want to buy something or whatever. Like you're not gonna find that at all in a Gold's Gym or anywhere that you go
Okay.
in Japan. So it's just very respectful, very clean. Everything is in order. When the train said it's going to leave at 10:13, it's going to leave at 10:13, not ten
Yeah,
twelve and a half, not 10:17. It's going to be there. You know what I mean? So everything is very punctual, very in line, very in order. And I feel like that's just a testament to how their culture is. So
true
that's
that.
really what I can say.
Okay, and so talk to me about you being on the independent scene. So,
Yeah.
what were some of the independent promotions that you liked to wrestle on, and which ones were some of your favorites?
Man, I loved all of them. Early on in my career, Defy showed me a lot of love. Before I even got to New Japan, when I was in Seattle, I wrestled people like Anthony Bowens. Before he got to AEW, I wrestled Judas Icarus on there. It was on TNA right now. So many people, Titus Alexander as well, who doing his thing in Japan. So many people before I even got to New Japan. Defy always showed me love. Prestige out there in Oregon, Seattle, House of Glory in New York. Man, every indie I did was so different, and I feel like me having the experience of wrestling in Southern California, wrestling in New York, wrestling in Texas, wrestling in Chicago, seeing how every city is so different. Man, I got to learn just how to perform for different types of crowds. So it really just helped within my craft. So shout out to all the indies that ever gave me a chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, and so talk to me about just being like being a black man in pro wrestling in general.
Yeah.
How do you go about that, and how do you really take pride in that?
For sure, for sure. It's the biggest thing I tell a lot of other Black American, African American, or melanated wrestlers, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there's so many different terms. Is like the rules are different, and you got to be aware. You have to be aware. That's the biggest thing. Just be aware. Don't take it personal. Just be aware, and you have to. You can make all the excuses that you want. I promise you, you can make all the excuses that you want, but you have to be aware of the situation that's around you and just know how to move. Triple H Ben said it in his theme song. It's all about the game and how you play it. So you gotta play chess. You gotta play chess. You gotta be
Yeah.
able to see things before they happen. You gotta be able to scope out the landscape and be like, okay, where do I fit? What can I do to really succeed as a Black African American melanated person in this business? Because it is different. You know what I mean? So it's just you just have to be smart. You have to be observant, and just really got to do what's best for you because the rules are different. That's the number one thing I have to say. So just be aware of that and act accordingly. Act
Right.
accordingly.
All right. So, who are some of the black wrestlers that have really that you would say took you under your wing and gave you some of the advice that you just gave me and some of the other people watching?
So many from the start of my career. I believe Chris Bay was one of the first that I met in my area that was really doing something. That gave me a lot of advice when I first came in the game. Leo Rush was another one. We all three had our first tour in Japan actually at the same time, so it was crazy that we got to experience all of that at the same time. Swerve Strickland, another one that's given me a lot of game backstage, and just watching how they move and seeing how, like I said, scoping out the landscape, and doing what's best for you. There's so many names to ring off. The Hurt Syndicate, um, those guys have been in the game a long time, so they know how to make money. They know how to, move smartly in the game. Mark Henry's gave me a lot of good advice. Elijah Burke, I believe that was his name. The Pope,
Yup.
gave me some
Yes.
good advice.
Yup.
I just met I just met the alpha male, Monty.
Monty Williams. No,
Yes,
Monty Brown.
Monty Brown. Yes,
Monty Brown.
I
Yup.
just met the alpha male at All In, and man, he gave me some good word too. So just meeting so many different Black wrestlers from so many different eras, I kind of hear the same thing from everybody, whether it's my contemporaries or people that's came before me. So that's why I take great pride in what I'm doing, and just learning so much so I can lead the next generation and continue being the one they look up to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, when you were in MLW, you became a member of the Boomaye Fight Club.
Right, right.
So,
Shout out to
so
them.
yes, sir. So, how did that go about? And when they came to you with the idea of we want to put you in this route, we want to do this, how did you feel? And what was your reaction? What was your thoughts?
Oh, I was honored. I was honored because I feel like even when I was in the New Japan and doing TNA, I always saw the Bumaye Fight Club, Alex Kane and company doing their thing. And I never knew if I would ever be in MLW, but I always supported. So it was dope to even be considered for that position. And then once I got there, I think from day one, I was put in that group. You know, unfortunately, it was short lived because I was never under contract or anything with that company. So
Mm.
I don't know what the full vision was, but it was dope that they, saw so much in me at an early time. It was like, hey, we want this guy with us. And that's the top faction in that company. So it was dope to just be able to be around them. Shout out to Mocha Traps, everything, Faye Jackson. They keep doing their thing. So I was glad to just even be consideration.
Okay. Yes, sir. So, talk to me about your run in TNA and what that was like. Because what was that like? And I'm pretty sure you guys watched it as a kid growing up.
Man, I the main thing that I remember about TNA growing up was that was where Jeff Hardy was,
Yeah.
and our Truth back in
Yeah.
the day. Road Dogg was there for a few times. A few of my favorites when I was young. I would be looking through the channels, be like, "Yo, that's Jeff Hardy." I thought he was done wrestling. So, seeing the Ultimate X match growing up, seeing the six-sided ring was so cool to me as a kid growing up. And then to actually wrestle for that promotion later on, it came again as a surprise. Same as the MLW thing. Um, I was glad I was able to get that TV experience. What I was maybe a year no, that was maybe like right after my first tour of Japan, I got into TNA. So as soon as I debuted as not being a young lion, I was right in TNA with Kushida. So just getting those TV reps, seeing how TV production goes, seeing how the pre-tapes go, just being with the TNA backstage crew was so dope. I learned so much working with guys like Kenny King, working with Mustafa Ali, working with Moose, working with all the top guys over there when I wasn't even signed to the company. So again, a great testament just to how much they believed in me. And like I keep saying, great experience.
Okay. So before we get into AEW, apparently you had an NXT tryout.
Right, right.
So, talk to me about that and what that experience was like, and what ultimately led to you wanting to sign with All Elite instead of WWE or choosing to go to TNA. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. When I stepped into the PC, this is maybe earlier this year, it was again another eye-opening experience because you get to see how the sausage is made. You get to meet all of these people that are on TV weekly type of thing, and it's like seeing them face to face, seeing how they work. It was cool learning from or seeing their perspective, seeing how different it was from Shibata style, seeing how different it was from Kushida style, and everybody I learned in TNA. Yeah, it was a dope tryout. The promo class, the all the other different stuff, we got to observe how everything goes. But ultimately, it wasn't my decision, where it wasn't the right time, from what I was told. So I don't put any ill will, no ill feelings on them. So, but it was the right time for me to get back to New Japan and sign with AEW. So I feel like it's been a great time working with AEW as well as New Japan this year. And yeah, we just continue riding the wave, continue
Yes,
riding the
sir.
wave.
Yes, sir. So, shoot, when you got to All Elite, you weren't there long. You got to work with Will Ospreay. So, talk to
Right.
me about working with people like Will, because I feel like just pound for pound, just pure pro wrestlers go. AEW has like the best overall roster to me, if you asking me. So,
For sure.
what is it like? Working with guys like Will, being in a tag team with Speedball Mike Bailey, and y'all coming together and having jet speed and working with the Hurt Syndicate and everything that you're doing now.
Man, I like to tell people it's expected. The way I work out, the way I work, the lifestyle that I live. These type of things are expected. So when they happen, I'm not surprised. I'm not, blinded by the moment, by the big lights, big stage, because it was expected from when I first started wrestling. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, 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 this. So it's no extra pressure to me because it's exactly what I envisioned for myself. So working with an Osprey, working with a Jay White, working with the Hurt Syndicate, I'm there for a reason. So that's my mindset going into everything, and it's been a dope experience. And like I said, since it's expected, you know, it's not. I'm not surprised by the moment. It's what I've been wanting to do for the longest. So I'm just writing my own story.
Yes, sir. I love that. I love that. So, since you've been in AEW, who have been some of the people that you gravitated towards? You know, maybe might have built a personal relationship or bond with.
Man, it's so many people backstage. So many people backstage. There's so many faces. I like talking to the old heads like a Glacier or like a
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn, Scotty Too Hottie, just to soak up that knowledge. Dean Malenko got so many stories for you. Um, many people, Mark Briscoe, just asking him what's the secrets, for the longevity type of thing. I know he's going to be out for a while, but Dustin Rhodes always had great advice and everything. So there's so much knowledge, so much talent backstage, and a lot of the people that are in AEW I met on my journey to AEW. So it's not like it's my first time meeting a lot of these people. We've known each other for years, so
Right.
it's dope just to be able to see them on a weekly basis now and just doing our thing. So it's
Okay.
like a friend. Like I'm not gonna say a friend club, but um, a lot of friendly faces.
Okay. All right. So, you said it earlier. You said the way you work out, the way you prepare. So, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm trying to get like you, the way you look with your physique and everything. So, talk to me about what probably goes into your diet. What does your workout regimen look like? How many times a week? Those type of things.
Man, I wake up, I stretch, do a
Yes,
couple of
sir.
these, do a
Yeah.
couple of these, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
get, and that's it for the day. Just get the body warm, and then, do what the jet do. But nah, to be honest, I feel like the basic regimen is just eat real food, and do workouts that are actually going to translate to what you're doing. I feel like I make up a lot of the stuff as I go. I just listen to my body. If one day, something's sore or a little bit, wacky, I won't work out that body part too hard or anything. But the biggest thing I tell people is, man, once you cut out sugar, once you cut out that processed food, I read a lot, so I base everything off the art of war. And man, when you know your
Mm.
enemy, you operate a lot different because when you know what their goal is, so you're doing everything to defend against that. I don't want to get too deep and philosophical on this right now, but yeah, I do everything as a defense mechanism. So that's how I look at
Okay. All right.
it.
So, shoot, you said you read a lot. So, what are some of the books that you read and would recommend?
Man, there's so many. Like, what you want to know about? You want to know about science, history. You want to read a good little fable. You know what I mean? So many different types of books out there. But I love a good Toni Morrison story.
Okay.
Shout out to her. James Baldwin is dope. He has great comedy, comedic timing, and everything. Malcolm X's autobiography is probably one of my favorite books that I've read.
Okay.
So many books out there. I just read a book about awareness, just about, like I just said, being a black wrestler in this business, you got to be aware. And once you become aware to everything you're surrounding, then you just act accordingly. And it makes everything just a little bit easier to deal with just because you know what you're dealing with. Again, art of war, know thy enemy. So once you know these things, and it makes it a lot easier to operate within the circumstances they're given.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, I'm gonna shoot, what's I can ask you the name of that book on awareness.
I think it's literally called awareness. I gotta
That's
message
it.
you after to get the author and everything. What it's literally called the awareness. I think the author's last name is Mello, Mello or something. I gotta send it to you.
All right,
But
for sure, for sure.
yeah, it was dope. It's super dope.
Okay, cool. So, talk to me. All right, this is where the part where I get to ask some quick hitters, and then I'm gonna let you get up out of here. So,
For sure.
what is your favorite color?
Favorite color blue.
Blue. Okay. What is it
Blue.
about it? Is it like just regular blue, light blue?
I like the royal blue. I like the light blue, the electric blue. Let me see. I like all different types. That's just my thing since
Okay.
a young age.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I got. I guess I gotta say a good steak, steak and
Good steak.
potatoes, steak and fries.
Steak and fried. Okay. Sure. How do you
Yeah,
eat your steak?
I like it medium. I like it
Medium.
medium. Gotta be. Got it. I can't. I ain't a well done type of dude. I ain't trying to be in there chewing my steak all day. So
Yeah.
I need a medium. I need it keeping the flavor. You know what I mean?
All right. Is there a place where you like to go to get a good steak, or would
Man,
recommend?
any places. You in Atlanta, so what we got Kevin Rathbun. I think Chops got a good steak.
Okay.
Uh, Shoot, go to Sprouts and pick up some good sirloin, some good filet mignon. They got a good steak too, you know.
Okay.
Put some good Himalayan pink salt, some black pepper.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, sir. All right. What is your least favorite food, or a food where you
Least
like? I don't see why people eat this. How? Just why? Why do they? Why did they invent this?
I wouldn't say there's food I wouldn't eat, but there's condiments that I'm not touching.
Okay.
I'm not touching mayonnaise. I'm not touching pickles. I'm not touching mustard. I'm not touching
Whoa.
ranch.
Whoa.
To me, that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
If I
Okay.
even get a whiff of any of those things, I might throw up. So I'm not touching it.
Dang. No pickles, my boy, man.
Nah, that'll ruin the whole burger for me. Nah.
Whoa. Oh my God, Kevin. You tripping. You tripping.
That's just
No
me, bro.
mustard?
No
What?
mustard. Nah, I'm gonna throw up, bro.
So what do you eat on your hamburger then if that's the case?
I just need the cheese and the ketchup. That's it.
That's it. All right.
I want to taste the burger. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to taste the pickles and the mustard and mayonnaise. I maybe throw some onions and lettuce on it, but if they got a good aioli, I'm good for a good little aioli. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Garlic joint. So
All
yeah.
right, for sure. For sure. All right, cool then. So so is SpongeBob your favorite cartoon? Because that's my one of my next questions.
Yeah, SpongeBob grew up on that. SpongeBob, um, so many different cartoons. But yeah, SpongeBob was definitely on every time.
You got a favorite SpongeBob episode or moment? Because
Uh
to me that is the greatest cartoon to ever exist. That shit is Family God. That was Family God for children. I don't
it
care what
really
nobody
was.
says.
It really was. Episode I can't put my finger on it. It may be when Squidward needed a job, or when Squidward got handsome, or a few other ones. Like those are the two that come to mind. Like so many funny things happened when Squidward got homeless or when he lost his job. So that was a one to remember.
All right. Do you have a favorite character from there? Would it be Squidward or
Nah, I would definitely say that's a tough one too. For different reasons. I like Mr. Krabs because he maybe Plankton too. Like just how they went about doing things was like, yo, you could go about that a little bit better. But I think there was just hilarious characters.
yeah.
So maybe Mr. Krabs and Plankton, they like Rock and Austin. You know what I mean? They diametrically opposed in every way, and they just made for a good story.
Yeah, I like that. I like that correlation. I like that.
Facts.
So and you touched on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So do you
Yeah.
watch anime? Are you a fan of anime or
You know, I'm slightly getting into it. I watched all of Death Note. There's a
Mhm.
couple other animes in there that I haven't fully stuck to because I'm stuck on my regular shows. Like I've been watching The Wire heavy. I'm big on Prison Break, Breaking Bad, The Blacklist, a lot of those other shows. So with anime, it's tough because it's like 50,000 episodes. So
That is true.
I try
That
to
is
find
very true.
something that's like in a concise season, you know, reasonable amount of episodes so I can finish it all the way through. But I like anime. It's cool.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So
Yeah.
and you said you were into Pokemon. Did you have a favorite Pokemon?
It's so many, man. I think my original is probably Dragonite. Um, I love Gyarados. Let me see. Blaziken is one of them ones. In the new generation or Gen 6, I believe, Greninja. Greninja is one of them ones. I don't know if you got that deep into the Pokemon, but there's so many different types. But I feel like Gyarados and Dragonite is like them ones right there.
Okay. Uh okay, next question is what is your favorite hobby and or pastime? You
Ooh, it's so many, man. Like I said before, the Jet is multifaceted. So we play the guitar, we be on that bass. You know, in Atlanta, we hit Cascade every once in a while, hit that get the skates on,
Yes,
or
sir.
you know, so I like just moving my body. So get the skates, probably that's number one thing. Go from the ring to the rink. So that's my mentality.
Okay. And h- how long have you been skating? Basically all your life, I'm assuming.
I mean, I skated as a kid, but it wasn't. I didn't take it serious or get my own skates until maybe like 4 years ago during the pandemic when there was nothing to do. I was like, man, let me grab a pair of skates and just learn how to do something while everybody's sitting at home. So I think
Okay.
like 4 years consistently.
All right. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, Jeff Hardy, that guy.
Yes, sir. Okay. Who was a wrestler you thought was kind of not who you thought was overrated, or people you was like, I don't get it. I don't see why everybody loves him so much.
Uh, Next question. I feel like there's a lot of people for that. Next question. Next
Okay. All right.
question.
For sure. Then. For sure. For sure. For sure. All right. All right. Who who is your dream opponent?
Dream opponent, me, myself, and I. I don't go for the dream matches, my opponents and everything. I feel like anybody that I step in the ring with, they get to step in the ring with the jet. So there's no dream opponent or anything. So it's just anytime whoever step in the ring across from me, it's gonna be a dream. It's gonna be a nightmare for them, but it's gonna be a dream for sure. So
All right. Cool. All right. And this is one. This is my last question. I asked everybody this, and then I'll let you get up out of here. I am Kevin Knight, and I am. No, my name is Kevin Knight, and I am.
you want me to finish that
Yeah,
statement?
yeah. Finish the statement. I am.
All
My name
right.
is Kevin Knight, and I am.
It gotta be one word, whatever it
Mm-mm.
is. You
No, it doesn't
ready?
have to be.
Let me see. I go with the let's see. I am Kevin Knight and I am Two Fly.
Yes,
It's as
sir.
simple as that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are, and I love your confidence. I trying to get more like I need more of that in my life.
Oh
But
nah, you gotta be I ain't gonna say the word delusional, but you gotta be the version of yourself that you wanna be. You know what I mean? Like there's no point in not being that. So whatever it is that you need to do that, whatever you feel like you need to work on to do that, just do it. Like,
all right.
that's my mindset. Just do
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Kevin, I
it.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Can we get a two fly before you get up out of here?
Hey, listen, tap into AEW every Wednesday, every Thursday, sometimes Saturday. TNT, TBS. Sometimes we got a pay per view every once in a while, but tap in to see the Jet because the Jet is too fly.
Yes, in the realest way.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir.